Okay, so if you're watching this, I am back from my little trip to New York City yesterday, and Randy Gregory was just cut by the Broncos. We're going to get right into this because I think this is fascinating. Before we do, just want to remind you guys, if you like this, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to hit the like button and drop a comment. I want to get your thoughts on this. Our O'Shawn Mathis video blew up. Love you guys for that. Anyway, let's move forward. So Randy Gregory last year was 5th in pressures in the first 4 games of the season before suffering a right knee injury that caused him to get a meniscus trim, which is a surgical procedure, and there is some rehab involved with that, of course. Mind you, him being 5th in pressures in those first 4 games, that kind of mattered because he was behind guys like Nick Bosa, Micah Parsons, Josh Allen, and Brian Burns. In 2021, Gregory with the Dallas Cowboys had 43 pressures in 12 games. He's a good pass rusher who is 30. He's going to need a change of scenery desperately. Okay, this is good for him. First off, I don't think we should be giving Sean Payton and Vance Joseph the benefit of the doubt here. I understand the first thing that is going to come to mind is you're going to think of him as a locker room cancer or a culture fit. And while this guy has had off the field issues, I'm not, defending that. I don't think either of those two coaches deserve the benefit of the doubt here. I think Sean Payton, obviously we know what they're doing right now in Denver. It's not a good situation. So I think they're scapegoating somebody like this. And I also think this is somebody who was signed for last regime. So the last regime signs Randy Gregory for a massive deal that's going to pay him about $70 million. And they were like, no. 4 games into his tenure, Sean Payton's tenure, no. But I mean, Vance Joseph has just about the same exact defense as last year, arguably better with more around him. And he's turned this defense with Coach Ejiro Evero, which was a top 5 defense, into a bottom 5 defense overnight. A defense where they're giving up over 170 on the ground. A defense where they're giving up 70 points in a game. They're a bad defense, and it's not because of the players. It's because of the defensive coordinator. So that is in Randy Gregory's favor. Here's the thing. You might notice that I mentioned Ejiro Evero. Here's the great thing about this, folks. Ejiro Evero makes this a scheme fit. This is why I'm bringing it to your attention. I think the Rams should be interested in Randy Gregory. I think they should sign him straight up. He's a scheme fit. Let's not act like he's not a scheme fit. Okay. He played in Ejiro Evero's system last year. He had great success in those first 4 games. And then he gets a knee injury. And then he comes back at the end of the season, and that was that. So, I want to say this, okay? It is possible that Randy Gregory has lost a step. It's certainly possible from the meniscus trim. He's still a better option than Michael Hoyt. He is. I'm sorry. Michael Hoyt is a rotational guy. Randy Gregory can start in this league. He can drop in coverage, which is good since the Rams are now doing that a lot with their edge defenders. I believe even Byron Young now, if you combine Byron Young and Michael Hoyt, I think they're both in the top 5 in edge defender, coverage snaps, which is insane. Furthermore, Aaron Donald is 1st in interior defensive line pressures. Byron Young is 15th in the league, and Michael Hoyt is 58th. Now, to be fair, Randy Gregory is 74th, but I think he needs a change of scenery. And I just think no one is going to do anything in that Broncos defense until Vance Joseph is fired. He's not a good defensive coordinator. I don't know how he continues to get these jobs, but he does. And it's killing the development of these players, and it's killing the production. So let's be honest here, okay? They need to upgrade the edge position. We've talked about this. The Rams need to do this, okay? If the Rams did sign him, it would be an upgraded vet. He's 30 years old. He's not super old, right? But he's 30 years old, and he not only fits right into the rotation, he doesn't have to start right away, could potentially carve out a starting spot. Gregory has a lot of money that was guaranteed with this contract. Like, he's going to make over $20 million. So you're going to get him on a relatively cheap deal. He's just trying to get on a team, and now he can actually go and try to make more money. And if you went to the Rams and gets to play with Aaron Donald, there's a lot to sell right there. The scheme fits there for Gregory. The sell is you get to play with Donald and Byron Young. You get to play with Raheem Morris. You get to play with Sean McVay. You get to play in LA, and this team is better than people thought. And even still, you could prove some doubters wrong on this team. They got a good secondary. There's a lot of selling points here for Randy Gregory, who's already gotten paid and who might want to cash in on another deal after the season. I don't think he's a long-term option. I don't think the Rams would sign him long-term. I think they'd sign him to a one-year deal, but they could sign him. And, I just think with the Broncos, they initiated trade talks with teams, and I think the Rams might have known about this. I think there's a chance that, the other day when you guys were asking me in the comments section, what was the third quarterback thing, when they were asked, Sean McVay was asked if they were going to sign a third quarterback. And then they said basically they had more pressing needs, but, they were still considering it and everything, but they had more pressing needs. And so I find it interesting because, it just came out in addition to this that the Broncos initiated the trade discussions, not Randy Gregory. So they were calling around, and there's a chance they might have called the Rams. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Everyone knows that they need another edge defender. We've been saying that. So, if that's the case, that's fascinating. But let's be honest here. Gregory is currently off to a bad start. Let's just be real. Let's just be understanding of that. 108th pass rush win rate. That's awful. Okay, I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. That is terrible. But the skill set, the production is evident. You look back in 2021, like I said, he had 43 pressures in 12 games. You look at last year, the first 4 games of the season, he looked like an elite rusher. So, it's evident. It's there. And the Rams have gone out and gotten guys in the past, maybe, lesser guys, obviously, like, Tack McKinley, but they've gone out and got guys in the past. But most importantly, they went out and found somebody in Dante Fowler who, was a big name, and he ended up working out for the Rams, and he went and got a big contract. So this could be a nice little leaping point, following this season for Randy Gregory while he tries to help the Rams out in the immediate. And the cool thing is Dante Fowler cost some picks. Randy Gregory won't cost any picks. So that's another thing. But as mentioned in the last video, the Rams are getting back, and they will be getting back, O'Shawn Mathis, the 6th-round rookie, very soon. It could be this week. They're very high on him. I'm not saying they're not. This doesn't change any of that. This isn't me being, counterintuitive and all that. No. This is adding another talent to the roster that needs more talent at this position. And I think the rotation could be intriguing, would give the Rams plenty of looks because I think you have different body types and different, athletic archetypes and profiles across the board. I mean, let's not act like Michael Hoyt isn't useful. He could still be in there as a bigger body in those certain downs. But, O'Shawn Mathis, kind of built like Terrell Lewis. Randy Gregory's kind of like that. You have Zach Van Valkenburg, who's like quicker, and then Nick Hampton. So it'd be really interesting. I'd like to see Nick Hampton a little bit more as well, especially in pass coverage. He did that well at App State. But this is a fascinating little thing. I mean, someone else's trash is, can be someone else's treasure. And I just got to tell you, before you stick your nose up at this and say he's not a culture fit, first off, that's subjective. We don't even know. We don't know what a culture fit is. We know, if you are going to split carries and you complain about it and you want out, that's not exactly a culture fit. But right now, Randy Gregory, I think, is going to sign up any day. He will sign up any day to be on a 2-2 Rams team instead of being on that pitiful Broncos team right now. I don't think anybody wants to play for Vance Joseph. I don't see why they would. So also look at what Raheem Morris has done. To me, This seems like a no-brainer. I know I say that term, and it seems kind of like light to use that. Like, okay, like no-brainer, huh? But it really is, because the Rams essentially get to make their team better because another team couldn't find a fit with this team. What do you think the Rams have done? This is how they get better. This is how they've been able to do what they do. They find these talents. Coleman Shelton, who's the starting center, was on Arizona. You know, Matt Gay was given up on by the Buccaneers. You know, the last year's, and obviously their franchise kicker up until he left. They find these guys. Maher's another. I mean, he's their kicker right now, who Denver got rid of. They find these guys because other teams either make mistakes or they just, they cut bait. And the Rams will be on that. And so I'm not saying they're 100% signing Randy Gregory, but don't be surprised if they do. And I think they should. I'm not saying he's going to have 12 sacks. I'm not saying he's going to all of a sudden be the best pass rusher in the league. He doesn't have to be. He just has to be a little bit better than Michael Hoyt. And right now, Michael Hoyt, with his 8 pressures, I think if you put Randy Gregory in that situation, getting to play with Aaron Donald, I think things would be a little bit different. And I think the Rams now become less, I guess I would say the word is predictable and one-sided. Because you have to literally move Aaron Donald to the other side of the defense. You have to move him on the edge to get that much production. What he did to Blake Freeland on Sunday against the Colts, Michael Hoyt's not doing that. Byron Young could do that. Michael Hoyt's not doing that. And so I think Randy Gregory is capable of doing that. And again, this isn't me turning around and just saying O'Shawn Mathis doesn't matter. This is me saying go and get talent, put them in a room, and figure it out. And that's exactly what I think the Rams should do with Randy Gregory. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Quick hitter here. Maybe not because it's over 10 minutes. But quick hitter somewhat. I am back from the concert last night, so I don't have the best voice. That's probably why it sounds a little off. But I appreciate you guys sticking with me, and I'll see y'all soon. Later, folks.